I almost just forgot to turn the microphone on, and I've done that probably 100,000 times. I just wanted to point out, boy got a haircut, let's go. Nice, all right, let's start the video. Also, I just want to point out that I have all 4 of these wheels for sale if anyone wants it, and I also have stock suspension for the BRZ, which I'm never gonna need again. Just wanted to put that out there. For all those who ask, is it loud? Yes, it's loud. And yeah, people actually do ask me, is it loud? It is definitely loud. Ah, that tape looks familiar. Thank you, Nate. Very excited to open that. Nuts.
You just saving those, or are they going on there?
They're gonna go on there now,
yeah,
just because
those
I have some
good.
ugly, chrome,
those
nasty ones, but just some solid. I forgot whether I got them in blue or black, but yeah, that's some nice raised black lug nuts. These did come from Japan and took about a month and a half or so to get to me, but thank you, Nate, for hooking it up. It's in preparation of the new wheels, the second set of other wheels that I'm trying to get right now. So don't worry about it. I'm not committing that big of a crime. Only sort of. But the main point for today's video is that we need to adjust the suspension on this car. I have never had a car that has had a super aggressive stance, like show fitment, I guess if you want to call it. And that's just not doing it for me. I know for a fact we can go lower, at most an inch lower, with still being comfortable, and definitely in the front. I know that doesn't look like a lot of room, but it's actually a lot of room. It's a finger, but I just know that you can get more out of this. I know that I can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be adjusting both the camber for the front today, because they are straight up and down, and I want them to match the rears, which have probably a degree or two. So really it's nothing that insane. It's super simple. I'm just gonna real quick measure the gap here around all 4 tires and just see how much we can actually get away with for lowering the car. I don't want to go too aggressive, but we need to get rid of just that just like lower just a tiny bit, and like the rears don't even match the front that well, really. So I just want this to match that. I don't want the rear to be that much higher than the back, and I think that was my mistake I made before. But today we're going to be fixing it. And I'm also suspecting that we have a couple exhaust leaks from the Tomei, because I swear I can hear like a hissing noise or like a puffing sound under there. And this thing lets out some gnarly pops. So I'm assuming that when it pops, it actually shakes the exhaust hard enough to loosen something in there. See what I mean? We got to get rid of that. I don't like that. And I know it's technically not a show car, but I've never experienced being low. This is pretty low, but it's not low. Like it's your car's lowered low. I want it to be low. I want to live the low boy life, guys. I want to try it. Okay? Like look at these cars. Like look at this car. See? That's what I want right there. The tire is like right near the fender, and it still tucks inside when it's under load and stuff. That's Jesse's MX-5, by the way, or Miata. Example of being too low would be something like this. That's just a little too low. Like, I want to be perfectly in between that. And that is what we were going to achieve for this car today. So it's looking like we're going to be dropping the rear a 1/2 inch and the front a 1/4 inch. They're already sitting different right now. So the rears are at a 1/2 inch gap between the fender and the top of the tire, and the fronts are sitting a 1/4 inch. And if you drop it a 1/4 inch and add camber, there's no way this is going to hit on either side. Same goes for the rear. As you lower it more, it's just going to have more natural camber, and it's going to bring the wheel and tuck it up inside. So now that we know this, we're going to be dropping the rear. We're going to be jacking the car up, dropping the rear 1/2 inch, and adjusting the fronts a 1/4 inch. We're going to be using a caliper too, so it's going to be super accurate. And then we're going to throw on the raised lug nuts, which are going to be pretty sick. It's going to blend nice. Right now we have the chromed hardware. I don't really like it. The rear coilovers are usually the toughest to adjust because they're like connected to all the back axle, or not axle, all the like rear lower control arm and stuff like that. So I'm gonna tackle that first. And if you want to know what that looks like, actually, let's looks like this. So coilover right there, and it's attached to this right here. I'm just gonna be adjusting that. I also have never adjusted coilovers before ever, so I'm gonna have Jesse help me out with that just to give me like pointers. I don't really know exactly how to do this. I know there's a super easy way, but I'm gonna just have him give me some pointers. All right, so what we've got here on the measurement is 1.8 inches. That's the gap in between the two spots that I'm gonna be measuring at both coil. So if I wanted to lower the backs by a half an inch, I want that number to be 1.36, and that would be exactly a half an inch drop in the rears. And then like I said, we're gonna do a 1/4 of an inch drop in the front and adjust the camber. And then on top of that, this should settle a little bit more. So not only is the half inch going to drop this a lot lower and like give me a little bit less room in between the fender, it'll give me a little bit more natural camber in the back, and that should give me enough room to tuck the wheel underneath the fender. And same goes for the front, so we're gonna get at that now. The way to adjust these, by the way, I'll show you just in case you want to know how to do this yourself. Loosen the bottom ring right there, loosen, and then spin the top ring. And what that does is it'll pull the entire body of the strut up, and it's going to decrease the gap in between here and the top of the coilover. That is looking so good. That's literally exactly how I want the wheel and tire to sit. But at the same time, I haven't driven it yet, so we're not gonna know until we actually are under like G's of turning and all that stuff that you would normally, you know, have happen when you're driving on the road. I think I really went with the right wheel and tire setup, size-wise and offset-wise. When we eventually switch to something like these right here, these I believe are like a +40 offset, and they're 9.5. So I think I might want to do a 9.5 when I get the TEs. But for right now, these Twicey Hot Boy wheels, polished lip and everything, these are a 9-inch, 18 by 9 inches wide, +35 or +32 if you don't already know. So the offset helps it, you know, bring the wheel out a little bit more without having a wheel that's as wide as something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on jack stands and everything, lift it back up, and then we're gonna adjust the same amount on both sides, take a half an inch off. And I'm very happy because when we use the caliper, both the coilover in the back and the coilover on the front were within like 1/100th of an inch, to the exact same distance between the two spots that we measured on both the front and the rear. Well, here we go. This is the final result, kinda. It needs to settle a little bit on this side still, but that's not a gap right there. That's a shadow going right there. The tire, the top of the tire, I actually can't touch the top of the tire. It's tucked in perfectly. Here, can you see top of the tire is almost touching. This is what I considered perfect fitment. And if you check out the front, look at that. Again, here, I'll show you. Top of the tire, you just get a finger in there. Like I said, this all still needs to settle, so this will get lower before it's completely settled. This is perfect. Perfect fitment. Now we just need to adjust the camber. And I love the black lugs. The black lugs really blend in a lot more. I know they're raised. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. They're bolts. They're bolts that hold my wheels to my car. We have different wheels coming. We're gonna go drive it later, like I said, to just check and see if it rubs and whatever. Because if it rubs, we're gonna have to undo all of this. I'm pretty certain it's not going to, though. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give it just one more little like jump on the trunk test, mainly because I just want to jump on the trunk again. Doesn't rub. Tucks up inside of there, and I know, like I said, there's going to be more forces on it when you're actually driving than just somebody jumping up and down on your trunk. So of course we're going to make sure that under like not heavy G's, but like under like decent turning, that it won't roll, and then have that fender part right here scrape or rub along the outside of the sidewall. A lot of people have to cut and modify this plastic piece when they do that and get their fenders rolled and stuff like that, but I don't think I have an aggressive enough wheel setup or an aggressive fitment that's going to cause that. I think we're going to be fine with that, but I'm not 100% sure. Now we're just going to adjust the camber of the car, and she will be all set. Everything is done in terms of fitment, so let's drop the car and see if I messed up on how much camber I gave it. I doubt it. I think it's going to match the back really well. looks fucking sick.
Perfect. This is actually perfect. Look at it. The perfect amount of camber. It's not too much, it's not too aggressive, but it's not straight up and down, and it's definitely a much nicer stance. The way the car sits, much better. Damn, that is perfect. Yeah, you can tell the difference in the camber. If you look from the side right there, oh, it's perfect.
This might be the perfect setup. Finally, I have entered the stance gang.
No, not really. Literally not at all. This is just not stock. Tons of brake clearance. Damn, we gotta get rid of that too. Oh, a big brake kit would look sick on this.
Oh, especially if I paint matched it to the wrap. Ooh, that would look so sick.
In terms of fitment and the way this thing sits now, perfect.
And what do you know, yet again, Wild Horse Motorsports Pass is closed. So I had to go and take the BRZ here, but it does look so good though. This is exactly the type of fitment I'm trying to get. Like look at it from far away. Ooh, see that angle though? Like, that is perfect. Yeah, that's nice looking right there. And not to mention the black lugs though. There are two wheels, or two sets of wheels that I'm waiting for that are legit wheels. One, we have Workmeisters that'll be here a whole year from now, and I really didn't want to wait that long, so we're trying to look for race TE37s right now. Of course, I'm gonna leave the color of what the wheels are a secret, because eventually the car is gonna get wrapped, and I have a really nice plan to match the wheels and a bunch of other stuff to the wrap, and I don't really want to give it away yet. I think it should be so sick, and I just want to reveal it when it comes out. Or I guess a better way to say it is I want to reveal it when we actually have the wheels that are going to be with the rest of the car. So these are just to hold me over so the car doesn't look so stock, and they are a replica of my dream wheel, which is the Workmeister. However, they are not junk. If you haven't heard me already say it a million times, these are actual two-piece forged wheels. I mean, they look great and they work well. A lot of people like ESR and they make great stuff, and even their forged stuff isn't bad. Or even the wheels that aren't forged aren't bad. And there are FD drivers who run ESRs on their drift cars, for God's sakes. Like, they're not a junk brand. I just really want this car to resemble like a dream build for me, and a dream build would have either TEs or Workmeisters. And luckily we're gonna get to see both, but one of them we gotta wait a year and the other one's looking like 6 months. So I'm gonna try to find some sooner than that, but I'm also ordering new. You can't really get TEs or Works in that time frame, like less than a year to 6 months right now, unless you can find somebody with a used set. And normally that used set, they jack the price up. People are willing to pay extra to get them right now versus having to wait that 6 months to a year out. But that's what we're gonna do, because I don't want to pay a huge markup and I have the time to wait and the money. So like, we're just gonna be happy with how great these look, because they do look fantastic, and then we're gonna just go ahead and wait for the rest of the stuff to come in. But however, I'm glad we got the fitment all dialed in. I'm gonna take some pictures, which is why I kind of was looking for a nice spot and why I'm so disappointed that Wild Horse is always freaking closed. But we brought the other lens, the bigger lens, the 24 to 70 lens, so I'm gonna take some pictures with this chunky boy. And then we are still on the grind, so right after I'm done taking pics, I gotta go to the gym. Always gotta find time for your goals. Getting up to 170 and getting like my muscle content up is like a huge goal of mine, and like fitness is another huge goal of mine besides YouTube stuff. So I'm sure all you guys have goals and all that other stuff, so you understand, gotta make time. But as soon as we're done with these photos, I gotta swing over there real fast. I am fully aware that this is not the most practical setup at all. If I start rubbing, I'm just gonna have to undo all the work I just did and readjust everything. So I don't know, I'm completely up to it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Oh, totally go and check out the other videos that you see on the screen, or video that you see on the screen right now. That title, look at the thumbnail, it's very intriguing. Are you track/functional fitment, or are you stance fitment? All right, I'm out of here. All right, thanks, peace. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I appreciate you. I'll see you in the next video. Later.